everybody, it's Bree. I've got a 20-minute quick movement, all levels class right here for you today. If you're starting off your day with this workout, it's great. If you're ending your day with this workout, it's great. Don't even think of it as a workout. Think of it as just like movement as medicine. Motion is lotion for your joints. So as we get started, I want you to start to focus on the breath. Go ahead and lay yourself down onto your back. Get yourself there however you need to. We're going to start with just some big breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. So as you're breathing in, feel the ribs expanding outward. And as you exhale out through the mouth, feel what happens to the body. So as you're breathing in and out, let this be a chance for you to kind of like settle into your practice, find the center of your body, notice where the breath goes and where it comes from, into that rib cage, into that lower belly, and start to rock the pelvis back and forth. So if our pelvis was a rocking chair, I want you to inhale it forward where the tailbone goes down, and then exhale, scoop the tailbone up, and the belly button drops down. So now we've got this like oppositional energy where the belly button rises and the tailbone drops, and then the belly button drops as the tailbone rises. And so what we're doing is just finding that opening space into the lower back. And if you are tight in the lower back, this may feel like really delicious, and it always feels good no matter what for me. So let's just check in with the body. Make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart as you continue with those pelvic rocks, as you continue moving with the breath. So set the rhythm for yourself, set your own pace. So moving slow and deliberate and like focusing on the intention of the movement is going to help you here, instead of like hyperventilating and like breathing really fast and then you're rocking the hips back and forth really fast. We don't want that. So as you inhale, tailbone drops down, belly button rises, and you got a little bit of space under your low back. And as you exhale, close in on that space and try to scoop the tailbone up, maybe a little higher now. Ooh, getting ready to bridge. And then place the tailbone back down. Rock forward, inhale, exhale, pick and scoop the tailbone up like an ice cream scooper, and then the low back follows. Ooh, maybe the mid back. Okay, all right, I guess we're going all the way up today. Nice, right off the bat. And if you can't get all the way up right out of the gates, that's okay. But slowly, wherever your height of that bridge was, making sure that you come down as slowly as you did to get up. Inhale to keep that spine long. And then as you exhale, feel that deep core, belly button pulling in, pelvic floor lifting up. Make sure the knees don't knock together, and think about the kneecaps pushing over the toes, hands pressing into the earth. And when you get to the top, knees, hips, shoulders in line, making sure that we're not arching up and we're not putting any of that pressure into the low back, but instead keeping the ribs wrapped down and the tailbone trying to pull underneath of us. Inhale when you get to the top, and then exhale. Try to keep pulling that spine long towards the end of your mat. Let's go for one more. Oh, these feels really nice, just to find that strength in the back of the body to help open up through the hips, through the front body, while stabilizing through the spine. Inhale at the top, and then exhale. Ooh, back down. All right. Now, from there, let's stretch out the left leg out onto the mat. And hands will stay down by the hips, but as you exhale, I want you to start to like find whatever the deepest muscle in your core around the spine is. Try to connect to that. And then as you exhale, lift the right leg up in a tabletop. And make sure that the foot and the leg aren't just like lazy here, but that they are active, so that when you place it back down, you have that energy to just tap onto the ground and lift back up again. Inhale to lower and exhale to lift. Okay, so if this feels like maybe a little too challenging for you, where you feel the low back starting to lift up and then press down, we want to keep that spine long in the same position. So if it is too hard, you can place the other foot onto the ground and start to lift and lower that right leg up and down. And now let's switch it to the left side. So now the right leg gets heavy. As you exhale the left leg up, make sure there's energy there in that leg, in the foot. So if I were to come over and kind of like knock it around, your core is helping to stabilize it in that hip socket. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift. All right, now getting ready to add those two movements together. So now as you place that left leg down, right leg marches up. Inhale, right leg down. Exhale, left leg up. Now check in with that deep core again. Does it feel like the belly button is dropping down towards the spine? Not that you're trying to suck it in or anything, but that stabilization. If your hands were to like put on your hips, like you're like, I want to talk to your manager. Do you feel that muscular tension across the belly from hips to ribs? All right, so now let's leave that right leg up into tabletop. Hands go back down by the hips. And then inhale, reach that leg long like you're trying to ring a doorbell. And then exhale, pull back into tabletop. If you're not sure what tabletop may feel like, placing the butt of your hand onto your hip and like when the leg pulls in, that's tabletop right there, rather than pulling all the way in and getting that tailbone to lift up. We want to keep that tailbone to spine nice and long the entire time. All right, so now if you want a little bit of extra spice in your life, bring your hands behind the head, behind the neck, and chest lift up. So like your chest is on a string, lifting you up towards the ceiling. And so now crisscross, so now opposite elbow comes in towards that opposite knee. Inhale, reach and point the toes. Exhale, pull in, flex the foot. Inhale, reach, and make sure that those hips aren't rocking from side to side. Exhale, pull. Ooh, starting to shake. And it doesn't take much. If you're doing it right, if you're feeling the connection, then you can really feel that like, oh, there's the center of the body. There's that big old muscle that's deep within the powerhouse of my core. All right, so now place that right leg down. Maybe you keep yourself lifted. Double check that you're looking up towards the ceiling and not like tucking the chin in towards the chest. It's okay to have double chins, but let's try to keep that neck nice and long. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull to twist. Ring that doorbell. Exhale, pull to twist. And now as you're twisting, making sure that the hips aren't rocking from side to side. Whew. 2 more here. Tailbone to top of the head, one long line, even though you're twisting out. Last one. Place both legs down, place the head down, place the hands down. Windshield wiper those legs side to side. All right, feeling longer, feeling stronger, and then when those legs roll over towards the left side of your mat, come onto your side. Okay, so now that you're on your side, I want you to swing the bottom leg forward, top leg stays back, and then here we are into our mermaid seated position. If this does not feel comfortable, both legs off to the side, okay, and the other hand stays down. Or if cross-legged is more of an option for you, just remember which leg is in front. So we've got plenty of options here. Listen to your body. But with that mermaid seated position, reach the arms out from fingertip to fingertip, reach, and then place one hand down onto the ground. Really try to drive the hip down as you reach from hip to fingertip. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, counter stretch in the other direction. Try not to hide your heart or your head away, but rather keep the shoulders stacked. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, lift, and counter stretch. One more time. And counter stretch, or mermaid stretch. Good, and then now we bring ourselves down, both hands onto the ground. Make sure shoulders stay out of the ears. From there, find that core strength to pull the knees underneath of you. Now we're in tabletop. Inhale, reach that right arm up towards the ceiling, and exhale, thread the needle through the arms. Inhale, reach. And maybe like you're trying to give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself a little pat. Good job. 2 more times. Good job. And one more time. And now lower yourself down all the way onto the mat to where your right shoulder, right side of the face are resting. Wringing yourself out like a wet towel. And then come on up into that tabletop position again. Stepping the right leg back into plank and starting to tendon stretch. So pointing and flexing through the toes like you're pushing down on a gas pedal. And if this feels good, if you can feel that core stabilizing force there to hold the head to heel line connection, then maybe try stepping back with that left leg coming into that tendon stretch. So it's kind of like you're doing a calf raise, but in plank position. Inhale back, exhale forward, inhale back, exhale forward. Find that strength in the core. Final 3, last 2, final 1. Then pull that right knee underneath of you and continue tendon stretching. So now maybe without that right leg behind you, you get a deeper stretch into the left leg. Nice little stretch there, especially if you haven't been on your feet all day, or even if you have been on your feet all day. Like, movement is good for everybody. That's why after a class you always feel like, All right, so now bringing that knee underneath of you, we're gonna work our way backwards. So left arm reaches up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, thread the needle, give yourself a pat on the back, good job. Inhale, reach for 3 more. Exhale, pat yourself on the back, good job. Last 2, really try to push down into that arm to reach up through the other arm. Create that oppositional energy for yourself, so when you press down to reach and open the chest, the next time you thread the needle through, lower down all the way onto your shoulder, onto your face. This feels so yummy. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then come on back up. We're gonna swing the legs around in the other direction. So remember, with our mermaid seated position, we have one shin parallel to the front side of our mat, other side to the short side of our mat. If that doesn't feel good, both legs off to the side, or the other leg in front and cross-legged, okay? I'm gonna take that traditional mermaid seated position. The goal here is to keep that hip down onto the ground. It's okay if it doesn't, but that is the goal. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side, fingertip to fingertip. Exhale for that side bend as the hips stay down and you reach from fingertip to fingertip. Inhale, lift. Exhale, counter stretch. Oh man, that feels nice. Inhale, reach. Exhale, stretch and side bend. Inhale, exhale. We got 1 more each way, kind of like a cartwheel. Use the breath. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, counter stretch. Inhale, spine tall, and now bring both hands down towards the mat. Oh yeah. Whew. Then from there, push into the hands. Feel that belly button pulling up and in so that you can make room for both legs to come underneath of us into that tabletop position. Let's cat and cow through the spine. But I want you to imagine, just use your imagination here with me. You've got a flashlight up your butthole, okay? And that flashlight, I want you to think of pointing it up towards the ceiling. So let the pelvis move first, just like we did at the beginning of the class, the pelvic tucks. So as you inhale, point your flashlight up towards the ceiling. You'll notice the belly is starting to drop down. The shoulders pulling away from the ears. Ooh, heart is pulling forward, and then you're trying to look up and see if you can see where the flashlight is pointing. And then as you exhale, point the flashlight down underneath of you, in between the legs, and try to look at where the flashlight is pointing with your gaze. Oh, that feels so good. Inhale, point the flashlight up. Exhale, point the flashlight down. Ooh, try to be very slow with these motions so that you can feel each bone, each vertebra of your spinal column articulating into this extension for your cow, and then flexion for your cat. Push the earth away, round through the middle, lower, upper back. Woo! And then pull back into child's pose or resting position. Arms reaching forward, head down onto the earth. Maybe shake your head from side to side a couple times, saying, no, I don't want the class to end. Maybe shake the head, yes, I love moving the body. All right, coming back up into your tabletop position. From here, we work on stabilizing in this prone position. So can you feel from tailbone to top of the head, one straight line? Really drive your left hand and right knee into the earth so that your right hand can get a little lighter. There it is, just swing it back and forth. And just kind of notice if you can, like, the more pressure you put into your left hand and into your right knee, do you feel like maybe then you can start to lift that left leg up? So just kind of like play with the movement here. It doesn't have to even look like this. It may just be like, okay, I'm lifted off of the mat. Good job. But now, start to reach the right arm away from you and lower back down. That left knee can stay onto the ground for now. But I want you to notice how even as the arm is moving away from you, how you can feel the core working. If you don't, check in, pull that belly button up, pull that flashlight up inside of you, and wrap the ribs around and push away from the earth so you feel that long spine position. And then maybe add that leg reach to arm reach. And it's not about the lift. So rather than thinking about like lifting up and then lifting up, see how my belly just dropped down there? I want you to think about reaching away. So connecting the dots from fingertip to toe, and how long can you reach the body? And then pull back in. Let's do one more time. Reach, hold, and then place it back down. All right, so now get heavy through your right hand. If you're getting wristy at all, you can make a fist with your thumb on the outside. Make a fist and then drive your knuckles into the ground. Okay, so right fist or hand, left knee nice and heavy. And then you can start to like, okay, I got enough room there for my left hand to start to play around, to feel that connection to my core. And then maybe my right leg to come off of the ground. So these are called oppositional or bird dog reaches. So think about like a pointer dog, creating that line from tail to tip of the nose. Ooh. Maybe you start or stay with just the arm reaching. Maybe you try with just the leg reaching. All of these are options. All of these are movements. And connecting that mind to body is Pilates. Now let's do 2 more. Making sure that you're not lifting, but instead you're reaching. Last one. All right, big toes touch, knees wide. Roll back into your child's pose. Whew. Maybe give yourself some wrist rolls if you're feeling a little cranky in those joint spaces. Working on that upper body strength, that full body strength through the core to the lower legs. All right, so now pulling ourselves forward. So now we're laying onto our belly. So your forehead, you're gonna face plant down into the mat. Tops of the feet are almost as wide as your mat and pressing into the earth there. And feel like you got a little ice cube underneath of your belly button. Okay, so that little ice cube, you don't want to melt it. Try to pull your belly button away from the earth, and that'll help to lengthen through the low back, making sure you're not like clenching the glutes to get there. But you feel that belly button pulling up and the spine getting longer. Your hands will stay down by your side for now, palms up. And as you inhale, I want you to pull the hands back towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower down. Think about the fingertips reaching towards the toes. Inhale, lift and reach back. Exhale, lower. Now, maybe you try to lift the head and the heart with the hands. And exhale, lower. Now, did you lift up to push the belly down? Try to keep that tailbone heavy, reaching towards the heels as you lift up. Oh yeah, that feels different now. So now that instead of like, look how far I can get, instead, it's more of like, look how controlled I can be. Oh, ha, ha. That feels so much better. It actually doesn't feel like I'm pinching into my low back, but instead I'm opening up that space in the low back. So now you can continue with those or reach the arms forward out in front of you. And keeping the head down for now, find that little ice cube under your belly button, make sure it's not melting, and lift one arm, one leg oppositionally from each other, and keep that length through the low back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So as that opposite arm, opposite leg is lifting, what's happening with the other arm and other leg? They're getting heavier and heavier, helping to stabilize through the spine. So now if you'd like to, maybe lift head, neck, and shoulders up off of the mat so that you can still feel that length through the low back, that stabilizing energy through the core and around the spine. Woo, let's try one more each side. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Hands under the shoulders. Pull back into your child's pose. Resting position. Oh man, that felt awesome. And that was 20 minutes, just 20 minutes of movement to end your day, to start your day, right in the middle of your day, a little lunch break, and you still have time to actually eat your lunch. So 20 minutes of movement can go a long way. I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye.